Hello and welcome to the Oaktree Arena for the last time in 2018, and what a meeting we've got in store here tonight. It's the Premiership Knockout Cup final, first leg. The crowds are flooding into the arena. Let's go down and join Andy with the Bomber.
Chris Bomber Harris, welcome back to the Oaktree Arena. Another week, another moment of silver on the line for you. How does it feel to be back here?
Yeah, hopefully it can be a good couple of days guesting, so hopefully the boys can help me with a bit of setups and we can score lots of points. It's been a good second half of the season, to be fair. You know, it was a tough start of the season with Wright and everything, then moving over to Paul. It's been great. You know, I really enjoyed it there, and yeah, it's always nice to finish the season off with a league medal. So
the question is the rest of the Somerset boys tonight expecting a Bomber last bend 4 dive to steal glory?
I'm hoping that we can sort it out before then over the 2 legs, and it won't be no last heat decider sort of thing. But yeah, you know, we'll go out there and do our best to see what we can do.
It's good stuff. We're excited to see you here. Thanks for coming along, and thanks for your interview.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Hey Niels, so welcome to the Oaktree Arena, and how are you feeling first of all?
I feel all right, thanks.
Yeah, good stuff. And I imagine that you'll be really keen to get going tonight after the disappointment of not being able to ride in the final last week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keen. I think everybody in our team is keen. You know, we didn't win the final, and you know, it's a bit disappointing to everyone. But yeah, we're here tonight to try and make a little bit of success this season with winning the Knockout Cup. But yeah, we're gonna have hard competition. So yeah, we'll see.
I spoke with Robert earlier, and he was very confident about today as well. I imagine the rest of the team would be feeling the same.
Definitely. I think you know, have you won last week? Maybe the motivation wouldn't have been as big as it is now, but I can imagine Somerset feel a bit similar. You know, they sort of managed to lose out on the final in the last race, and you know, that was a big disappointment for them. So I can imagine they're quite hungry to win this as well. So we should go down as a big meeting.
Well, Niels, I wish you all the best. Have a great one tonight, and also tomorrow at home. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Oh, good to hear there from Niels. Back in the Kings Lynn side tonight, having had to sit out the grand final where Kings Lynn went down to a defeat on aggregate by 4 points to the Poole Pirates, who are the champions for the 8th time in the current era, of course, since the playoffs. But that was the playoffs. This is the Knockout Cup now, of course, as the 2 teams around on the pre-meeting parade vehicle. Kings Lynn will have won the top flight title a couple of times in their history, 1977 and the year 2000. And Somerset, well, of course, this is the first time they've ever contested the Premiership Knockout Cup final. They have been winners of the Premier League Knockout Cup on 3 occasions, 2008, 2013 and 2015, but they're treading new ground this season, and the 2 sides about to be introduced. Before that, we've got the parade, the 2 captains tossing the coin, and Jason winning the toss, and he's going to be taking gates 1 and 3 in heat number 1. So Robert will get choice in heat number 15. All smiles from the 2 skippers. And now let's get the introductions of the 2 teams.
Over to the Kings Lynn Stars, and first introduction is their captain, finishing this season on an incredible 9.57 average. Norfolk born, one of the most exciting English prospects in Speedway, Robert Lambert. And number 2, a German who has previously been excellent around the Oaktree Arena, Eric Riss. And number 3, from Victoria in Australia, Ty Proctor. And number 4, from Denmark, Thomas Jorgensen. And number 5, let's see if we can ruin his run of maximums in this meeting, Niels Kristian Iversen. And number 6, from Finland, guesting tonight, Tero Arnio. And number 7, former Rebel, and from Lincolnshire, Simon Lambert. Now over to the Cases Rebels. At number 1, the 2017 Grand Prix champion, the 2018 Premier League Riders champion, and the Czech Golden Helmet holder, Jason Doyle. This is Wright replacement. And at number 3 tonight, at number 3, ladies and gents, we welcome back Charles Wright. And number 4, Richard Lawson. And number 5, guesting tonight, we're forgiven tonight, just tonight, Chris Harris. And number 6, another bomber, he bombs the third bend every time, Jake Allen. And number 7, our exciting Argentinian Nico Covatti.
The very exciting Argentinian indeed, Nico. So that's how the two teams line up. They've met here twice this season, of course. They had a draw here back in June, and then at King's Lynn, where they were beaten very, very easily indeed by 61 points to 29 back only last month. So the Rebels, well, they may fancy their chances on the back of that thumping victory here in the last 4 weeks. So that's how the two sides line up. We're about ready to go, but just before, I think Spencer's going to have a few words with the two managers.
Okay, I'm delighted to be joined by the two team managers. We'll start with Dale from the King's Lynn Stars. Confident of being able to take a lead into tomorrow's meeting?
You've always got to be confident, haven't you? If Garry will be just as confident in taking a league, I'm sure. So, yeah, I think it'll be a close meeting.
Obviously, you must be delighted this season by the form of Niels, Kristian, Iversen, who flies around here, and of course Robert Lambert, who's been superb from start to finish.
To be honest, Niels has had a difficult season really, with injuries and bits and pieces. But yeah, Robert's been fantastic. The whole team have, you know. I mean, it's been a lot better season than last year, and hopefully we can end it with some silverware.
Even if you don't end it with silverware, are you happy with how things have gone in 2018?
Yeah, I think the remit at the start of the season, like everybody, was to get into the playoffs, which we did. I think my belief was we needed to put the pride back into the club. It was a very difficult year last year for many reasons, and I think we've done that whatever. So I think on that basis it's been a very good turnaround, but still a way to go.
And just finally, you happier that you've got the second leg at home?
To be honest, I don't think it makes a huge difference. I think in reality, Garry and I spoke for quite a long time, and it was more about days of running. You know, that as Garry said, Mondays aren't great for him, and they're not particularly great for us. So, it's more about down to not running a Monday than who gets first and second leg.
So it was all amicable, no rock, paper, scissors, no name calling, anything like that?
Well, it's always name calling with me and Gaz, but it was all good.
Well, best of luck to you guys for the meeting tonight. Hopefully everyone makes it home safe. And good luck, not too much, good luck, obviously. Dale Allitt, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Moving on to Garry, roughly the same questions. Difficult going into a meeting like this with a slightly changed side?
Yeah, it is, when you like your own team, but that's the way Speedway is, so we've got the best guest we can get.
Obviously a lot of fans will be happy to see Charles back.
Yeah, I think they will do, It's all water under the bridge now, and we're just going to get on with it.
I mean, Speedway's that sort of sport, isn't it?
Yeah, we fly off your handle a few times and that, but yeah, it's all sorted.
Well, I think we're all very glad to hear that. Confident going into tonight's meeting, obviously happy with the guests that you've got. Obviously Chris Harris owes us one, a little bit following what we shall call the pool episode.
Yeah, but if we'd had Jack, we would have been in the final, and that would have been it. You know what I mean? Because he would have scored more points, and that's it. But that's how Speedway is.
And the same question that we asked to Dale. Obviously, you've got the home leg first. Are you happy with that, or would you have preferred the second leg here so we could have shown the trophy off straight away?
Well, it's nice to do that, but if you all book your tickets, I'll bring it back with me tomorrow. But whatever it is. If I can get a big lead or a small lead and take it up there, but it don't really bother me.
Perfect. Well, we'll let you get back to doing what you do, and you heard it here first. If you want to see the Knockout Cup, you've got to book your tickets for the end of season dinner, haven't you?
Yeah, surely. Yeah.
Perfect. Garry, thank you very much indeed.
So that's all the talking and introductions done and dusted. We're ready to get on with the action. Heat number 1, Jake Allen comes out off gate number 1. taking a ride replacement out in, of course, for Bradley Wilson-Dean. Off at gate number 2 we have got Eric Riss. Off gate number 3 it is Jason Doyle, and off gate number 4 Robert Lambert. Of course, Somerset, we're going into this meeting without Bradley, and also without Jack Holder, and also no Aaron Summers. So a couple of guests in the shape of Charles Wright, of course, Wrighty, well, he's always has been a very popular rider here, of course, until his little misunderstanding, shall we call it, with Garry May earlier this season, but he's been welcomed back with Somerset here tonight. And Chris Harris, the bomber, can he make up for dumping or helping to dump Somerset out of the Premiership playoffs as Heat 1 is underway? Jason Doyle has made a great start, and it is he that leads the way from Jake Allen in second place. Lambert is only back in third. Eric Riss is at the back. It is a great pairing, this, for Kings Lynn at the Adrian Flux Arena. Although they are struggling here in heat number 1. They've had many 5-1s say as a pairing on their home circuit, but they're on the wrong end of one here in the opening race, as Jason Doyle it is who leads the way. Second place it is Jake Allen. Could be a busy night for Jake this evening. In third spot it is Robert Lambert. Eric Riss is at the back and tailed off in this one. Robert Lambert, well, he doesn't look like he's going to catch the Australian, or one of them, of course. Jason Doyle, the other one, and former world champion now, of course, following Ty Whiffington's success in Torren a couple of weeks ago. It is Doyle that wins the opening race. Second place goes to Jake Allen. Third spot to Robert Lambert, the top averaging rider in the Premiership, Robert, this year, ahead of Jason. But Doyle, well, he finishes ahead of Robert in that one, and so does Jake Allen. It is a 5-1 for the home side, and what a great start. Third 29 races still to come, of course, though. But Somerset, well, they got off to the best possible start. They lead by 4. Race number 2, Tero Arnio comes out off gate number 1. He's in as a guest for Kings Lynn tonight. Other than that, the side are as per as they have been all season. Off gate number 2 it is Jake Allen. Gate number 3 sees Simon Lambert from the outside. Nico Covatti, heat 2. It's underway. Referee Rolly Allen releasing the tapers into the first turn. Well, it is Simon Lambert who's made a great start, and Terry Arno as well. He's coming to first place with Simon Lambert on his outside. In third spot is Nico Covatti and Jake Allen, who beat Kings in number 1 Robert Lambert in the opening race. He's at the back as Covatti, well, he's putting Arnio under a lot of pressure, but Tero, well, he's doing a good job here in heat number 2. Simon Lambert is doing a terrific job as well. He is held in front. So the Rebels, well, they scored a 5-1 in heat number 1, but it looks like the Stars are going to hit straight back in race number 2 as Lambert leads the way. Arnio, of course, in for Michael Palmtoft, who's a big loss to Kings Lynn in the playoffs, or the grand final, of course, when he had a fall at Poole in heat number 12, and well, he was out with a broken wrist, so he missed the second leg at the Adrian Flux Arena, and he's missing here tonight as well. But his replacement, Tero Arnio, doing a great job, and so is Simon Lambert. A surprising 5-1 for the Kings Lynn reserves. Covatti in third, Jake Allen at the back in that one. So we open up with a maximum heat advantage for either side. 6 points apiece after 2 races. Great riding by the Stars reserves. Heat number 3, Richard Lawson comes out off gate number 1. Ty Proctor is off gate number 2. Charles Wright is off gate number 3. Good to see Wrighty back in a Rebels race jacket. And off gate number 4 it is Thomas Jorgensen, who's had a steady season with the Kings Lynn this year. Of course, the True Plant Stars, well, they finished top of the league table, 4 points clear of second place Somerset, but ultimately it was the third place side, the Poole Volvo Cars Pirates, who took their 10th top flight title just last week at the Adrian Flux Arena, which we will be returning to tomorrow, of course, for this second leg of this Knockout Cup final. Heat number 3. It is underway. Great start there by Charles Wright off of gate number 3, and it is he that leads the way from Proctor in second place, Jorgensen in third. The engine room of the Kings Inside are in the minor positions with Richard Lawson at the back. It is a 3-0 in race number 3. Then Wright, it is who leads the way. Richard Lawson attempting to come through on the inside of Proctor, but Ty holding him off at the moment. Jorgensen in second place, chasing Charles Wright, but Wright, well, we know how capable he is on this circuit. Of course, he had 5 seasons with the Rebels until he left for Leicester midway through this season. Here comes Jorgensen around the outside. There's not much in it. They're on the final lap. It is Wright that leads the way. Jorgensen cutting back on the inside. He's looking quick, but so is Charles Wright out in front. It does look as if it's going to be a shared heat unless Jorgensen can find a way past. No, he cannot. It is Wright that wins it. So a winning return for Charles. Second place goes to Jorgensen. Third place to Proctor, with Richard Lawson bringing up the rear. It's our first shared heat of the night, and after 3 races there's nothing between the 2 teams. Kings Lynn doing much better here tonight than they did when they were thumped 61-29 last month, as Wrighty being sent round on a lap of honour, and that's hugely popular. Race number 4, Nico Covatti comes out off gate number 1, just a 3rd place in his first ride. Simon Lambert's off gate number 2. He had that excellent win in his first race. Gate number 3, it is the bomber. That is Chris Harris coming in for Jack Holder. In this one, he's off gate number 3. And Niels Kristian Iversen, who was greatly missed in the grand final last week against Paul, both legs. He comes out off of gate number 4. Niels, well, he was injured. He was injured in the Thomas Gollop benefit meeting, which we went out to cover in Bydgoszcz just over a week and a half ago, and so he was injured in that meeting and had to stand himself down for a week. Where he had took a knock to the head, but say he's back here tonight, hoping to give Somerset a bit of a headache as heat number 4 gets underway into that first turn. It's all pretty tight as Harris comes through on the inside to take the lead, gets some lift as well. It is Harris on the inside of Covatti in second place. Iversen is in third. Simon Lambert, who made another pretty good start, but he's at the back now. It is a 5-1-4. Somerset, here comes Iversen around the outside of Harris, and he's got up into second place. As Harris comes back on the inside, Iversen just lost control there. Did very well to stay on his machine. So exciting action in heat number 4. Out in front it is Covatti, who leads the way. He's ridden as a heat leader for Somerset as a second string and as a reserve as well, and he's back down in the reserve berth here this evening as he leads the way. Certainly not riding like a reserve in this one, leading 7 times Danish champion and long time Grand Prix rider Niels Kristian Iversen, who can only finish back in third. Chris Harris, we had a fine battle with Niels. In the opening lap it was Lambert who made a pretty good gate. Then Harris got through in the first place. Covatti coming around the outside, and then Harris, we repelled a challenge from Iversen later on in the race as Nico, when he celebrates his first win, coming around on a lap of honour. Rebels back in front. As we get on to heat number 5, back to track action. Eric Riss comes out off gate number 1, didn't score in his first ride. Remember him his first ever meeting here at Somerset in the Premier League days, when it was the second division, of course, riding for Edinburgh, and we scored a mountain of points in a meeting that was covered by Sky Sports cameras, of course. And Eric, well, he really does have a liking for this circuit, but he didn't score anything in his first ride. What can he do in his second? He's off gate number 1. Charles Wright in as a guest. He got a win in his first ride. He's off gate number 2. Gate number 3 sees Robert Lambert, just a point for the Kings Lynn captain, off gate number 3. And from the outside it is Richard Lawson. Didn't score in his first ride. Heat number 5 gets underway, and into that first turn, and again it is Charles Wright who's made the start. He leads the way. Eric Riss is in second. Lawson is in third, and Lambert, well, he is at the back. That's a surprise as the riders come round to complete the opening lap then. It is Charles Wright who leads the way. He won his first ride in great style, and he's out in front in this one, and now here comes Lawson on the inside of Eric Riss, trying to turn a 4-2 for Somerset into a 5-1. Lambert looking sluggish out at the back in this one in heat number 5. Charles Wright is leading the way. Most of the action going on for second place between Riss and Lawson. Here comes Lambert now making a swoop around the outside of Richard. He's building up some speed. They're on the final lap. It is Wright that leads the way. Riss in second place. Lawson still holding on to that third ahead of Lambert. It's going to be a race to the checkered flag, and it's going to be won by Charles Wright. He's making 2 wins out of 2. Eric Riss not that far behind in second, was he? Third spot goes to Richard Lawson, doing well to hold off Lethal Lambert, as he's known in the Norfolk area. 4-2 for the home side, the first one of those this evening, and it does mean that Somerset move into a 6-point lead on the night, 18 points to 12, and Charles Wright, well, he has scored 6 of those points from his first 2 rides. Race number 6 comes. The riders come out on track. We've got Jason Doyle off gate number 1. Niels Kristian is off gate number 2. Both, of course, will be Grand Prix riders next year. Niels, well, he wasn't in the GPs this year, although he has ridden at reserve and has had a few meetings. But he's booked his place for next year from the Grand Prix Challenge. He's off gate 2. Nico Covatti off 3. Tero Arnio got paid winning his first ride. He's off gate 4. And Arnio, well, he anticipated the start of gate number 4. Eagle-eyed Ronnie Allen spotting that. And all 4 riders will be invited back for the rerun. Arnio lucky not to touch the tapes. So second attempt at heat number 6. Somerset leading by 18 points to 12. The start marshal walks away. Ronnie Allen puts on the green light, releases the tape for the second time. Pretty even start, but it is Doyle from the inside who leads the way. Iversen is in second place. Covatti, who's taken a ride replacement out, and in this one he's back in third with Arnio at the rear. As out in front it is Jason Doyle who leads the way from Iversen in second place. Iversen, well, he's charging hard on the inside of Doyle, but Jason knows every inch of this circuit. Of course, he's able to hold off Niels at the moment. 2 laps down, 2 to go. It is Doyle out in front from Iversen in second. In third spot it is still Nico Covatti, doing well to hold off Arnio, of course, who beat him in heat number 2. It's Jason Doyle going to defeat Niels Kristian. No, he's not, because Iversen has got through into first place. A great ride there by Niels to find a way through into the lead. So it's turned what was a heat advantage for Somerset into a shared race. As Niels Kristian Iversen, well, he's got plenty of speed underneath him, hasn't he? Takes the victory in that one. He bided his time, took him 2.5 laps to find a way past Doyle, but find a way past he did at the end of lap number 3, and going on to collect his first win of the night. A shared heat, our second one of those this evening, and it does mean that Somerset still maintain their 6-point lead, 21 to 15. Well, before heat number 7, and I'm afraid there is a problem for Chris Harris, who I think he's going to miss out on the 2-minute time allowance. The seconds are running down, and well, they're working on his machine, and in fact, no, the red light has come on for the bomber, so he'll be very disappointed indeed not to be able to come out for his second race. A replacement will be out, and it is Nico Covatti. Of course, Garry May, well, he could have brought Chris off of 15 metres, but Covatti, well, he's ridden pretty well so far. He has well, he's had 3 rides and has scored paid 6, including 1 victory. So and that was over Niels Kristian Iversen. Niels Kristian Iversen indeed in heat 4. So Covatti it is who comes out off gate number 2, and he joins Jake Allen. And this is the 2 reserves for Somerset off gates 2 and 4. And for Kings Lynn, well, they got Ty Proctor off 1 and Thomas Jorgensen off 3, who were part of a shared heat in race number 3. They'll be hoping to get a heat advantage in this one. Of course, with them up against the 2 Somerset reserves, although it counts for nothing really. Doesn't matter with this Somerset side who's in the main body of the team, who's reserved there. Very much strength in depth side, as are Kings Lynn, of course. Heat number 7 is underway. Proctor it is, who's made a great start. He leads the way. Jake Allen in second place, Covatti in third. Allen has in fact gone round the outside of Proctor into first place, and now here comes Covatti on the inside. The stunning riding by the 2 Somerset reserves. It was a shared heat, but Proctor was passed by Jake Allen on the opening lap, and then Nico Covatti also finding a way past Thomas Jorgensen. He's trailed off at the back in this one, as out in front it is Jake Allen who leads the way. This will be his first win of the night. Got a paid win in his first outing, then a last in heat number 2. But he's leading here in race number 7, and what a lead he's got as well. Covatti safe in second place, Proctor in third. It's going to be the third 5-1 of the night for Somerset, and they now move into a double-digit lead. So a great start to them in the first half of this meeting. As Ty Proctor, well, it was a great start by him off of gate number 1. But first Jake Allen, well, he found a way around the outside, and then Covatti, well, he saw what his teammate did, and he came through on the inside of Proctor, who just went off his line a little bit there. And it's a 5-1 for Somerset, 26-16 the lead. Things looking good for the Cases Rebels as we approach the halfway stage of this first leg of the Premiership Knockout Cup final. So on to heat number 8. Simon Lambert comes out off gate number 1. Nico Covatti is off gate number 2. Eric Riss is off gate number 3. And Charles Wright takes a ride replacement out off gate number 4. Wrighty, well, he's won both of his first 2 rides. So, what it'd be a dream return, of course, if he could get a maximum here tonight. Probably that's not going to happen, but he certainly has started off quite superbly with those 2 victories. See what he can do in this one. Of course, he's already beaten Eric once. That was in heat number 5 when they were both last out on track. 26-16 the score after 7 races. Heat number 8. The tapes fly up and into that first bend. Who's flown into it out in front? Well, it is Simon Lambert who's been making some good starts. In fact, Charles Wright, he's got some. He's had come a cropper there, and he's down on the track. The red lights are on, and well, this was a bit of a moment for Charles as he went out a bit too wide. Got him, maybe he's just sent it a little bit wide there by Eric Riss, but Charles is down. But well, that's great to see. He is back to his feet, but the red exclusion light has come on. He won't feel too happy about that when he knows that, of course. Nor will Garry May. Well, obviously Garry spoke to Ronnie and said that it should have been all 4 back, but this referee's not for turning. So Nico Covatti, well, he's got to do it all by himself here. He's the sandwich between the 2 True Plant stars. Heat number 8. The rerun gets underway. Riss has made a super start off gate number 3, and it's he that leads the way. Simon Lambert is with him as well. He's in second place. Covatti only back in third. Although here comes the Argentinian on the inside of the Englishman, and he's got through into second place now. A very enterprising ride by Nico, and now he's challenging Riss on the inside, and he could have found a way past the German as well. Super riding by Covatti. He's leading the way now, having gone from third to first. Eric Riss coming back at him on the outside, going out very, very high and wide. Will it be handsome? Not at the moment, because it is Covatti who leads the way from Eric Riss in second place, Simon Lambert in third. The best Somerset can do, of course, is a shared heat in this race with Charles Wright watching on from the pits, and that's exactly what they're getting at the moment as Covatti. Well, this will be his second win of the meeting. It's been a busy night for Nico. This is his 3rd race in a row, and well, he's scored paid 13 so far from his 5 rides. 5 rides in the first 8 races from Nico. This is a tremendous effort by him to find a way past Lambert and then get the better of Riss as well. He's delighted, so are the fans, and so they should be, as Covatti celebrates on one wheel. Page 12 he scored from his 5 rides, including 2 victories. Super stuff from the Argentinian. Heat number 9, and the lineup sees Niels, Kristian, Iversen off gate number 1. Richard Lawson comes out off of gate number 2. Gate number 3 sees Tero Arnio, and gate number 4 we've got a change. Charles Wright due to come out in this one, but following that knock he had in heat number 8, of course, when he was in as a rider replacement, he's obviously not quite with it at the moment, or he's got machinery problems, or just feeling a bit second hand. It was quite a heavy fall, so he's been pulled out of this one by Garry May, and Jake Allen comes out for a reserve ride. Jake, he's done well so far, paid 6 from his 3 rides. So the Somerset reserves, well, they are certainly outscoring their Kings Lynn counterparts, even though the Stars reserves did get a 5-1 over Jake and Nico in heat number 2. This is heat number 9, 29-19 the lead as the race gets underway. Good start there by the rider in white. That is Niels, Kristian, Iversen. It is he that leads the way, but it is Richard Lawson now who takes the lead, but Iversen comes back on the outside. Watch for Jake Allen, who's having a very enterprising ride here in heat number 9. Iversen it is who leads the way. He won his last outing, and he's looking towards another win here, although the Somerset pair are queuing up to find a way past, and in fact Allen has found a way past. He now leads the way from Grand Prix star Niels, Kristian, Iversen. Iversen comes back at him on the inside. He retakes first place, so passing and repassing in heat number 9. It is Iversen then on the outside of Jake Allen in second. In first spot is Richard Lawson. Arnio is at the back for the second race in a row. Here comes Allen again on the inside, but Iversen again answers him back on the outside. Terrific racing. Heat number 9, it's going to be a race to the checker flag, and Niels, Kristian, Iversen, when he just holds on for the victory. The race of the night, that was in this Premiership Knockout Cup final first leg. Iversen, well, he come around the outside and got through in the first place, but then it looked like Jake Allen was going to get the better of him. He did get through in the second spot momentarily, but then Iversen came back at him. Super racing in heat number 9. It all results in a shared heat. Somerset still hold on to a 10-point lead. Race number 10. Thomas Jorgensen is out off gate number 1. Nico Covatti, he takes a ride replacement outing. He's off gate number 2. Ty Proctor is off gate number 3, and Jason Doyle is off gate number 4. Doyle, he's scored 5 points from his first 2 rides, so solid start for him. It's been a solid season, of course, for the last year's world champion. Delighted to be back linking up with Somerset for the 3rd time in his career. It helped him, of course, to Premier League honours in previous seasons. 2015, the last time when they won the Knockout Cup, of course, and he'll be hoping to hold aloft the trophy tomorrow night, of course, at the Adrian Flux Arena as well. That's where we'll all be heading to for the second leg in 24 hours time. The rider's about settled now. Heat number 10. Can Doyle make the start off gate number 4? And a bit of movement there from the riders off the inside, but it is Jorgensen who leads the way. Doyle now coming through on the inside, but it is Thomas Jorgensen who's out in front. Covatti is having a battle with Ty Proctor as well. It's all very tight here for the places in this one as Jorgensen leads the way. Jason Doyle in second place. Here comes Ty Proctor around the outside of Doyle, and he's found a way past his fellow countryman as Jorgensen leads the way then from Proctor in second, Doyle in third. At the back it is Nico Covatti as Doyle tries to get back on there on the outside of Ty Proctor. Here he comes again on the outside, so cracking action in race number 10. Jorgensen it is who leads the way. Had a last in his previous ride, but it looks as if he's going to get a win in this one. He's out in front, and it is going to be a heat advantage for Kings Lynn in their first since heat number 2. Jorgensen wins it, Doyle gets second, Proctor gets third, with Covatti failing to score for the first time this evening, as Jason Doyle, well, he had a good battle there with his fellow countryman Ty Proctor for a couple of laps, and then he found a way back past the Kings Lynn number 3 to split the 2 stars. But it is a 4-2 for the visitors. They will now reduce the gap to 8 points on the night. They're on 26, Somerset leading on 34. Heat number 11, the Bomber. Well, he has made it to the start line for this one. He was very irate in the pits, having not made it under the 2-minute time allowance. So he comes out off of gate number 1. Gate number 2 sees Robert Lambert. I imagine he'd be pretty irate in the pits as well. He's only scored a point from his first 2 rides, most un-Lambert-like. Gate number 3, that sees Jake Allen. It's been a mixed night for Jake so far. But he had one last, but he's also scored paid 8 in his other 3, so it's a good performance by Jake. He's off gate number 3, and from the outside, Eric Riss, who's scored 4 points so far. So this strong partnership for Kings Lynn. What can they do in heat number 11 against Harris and Allen? As the race gets underway, Lambert's made the start off gate number 2, and so is Eric Riss off gate number 4. We've seen plenty of this at the Adrian Flux Arena, where we also film, and so are the Kings Lynn fans and the Star supporters who are here tonight. Will they be delighted with this, because Kings Lynn are hitting back, trailing by 10 points. Just a couple of races ago, they could be just 4 points down with 4 races remaining, as Robert Lambert showing his class. That class is permanent, form is temporary. Having only scored a point from his first 2 rides, he's leading race number 11. Eric Riss behind him in second, Chris Harris in third, Jake Allen, he's at the back. They're on the final lap, and this will be the second 5-1 for the visitors this evening, and so see them move to within just 4 points. I'm sure Dale Allitt will be delighted if they could keep it to 4 points after heat 15. Lambert, the real Robert Lambert, comes to the table there in heat 11. Eric Riss second, Chris Harris third, Jake Allen, he fails to score for the second time this evening. A 5-1 for the visitors. They move on to 31. Somerset still lead on 35, but they have seen that lead cut quite considerably. 10 points up, just 2 races ago, and now it's down to 4. Heat number 12, 4 big races coming up. Charles Wright comes out off gate number 1. Good to see Wrighty able to take his place, having pulled out of his last ride following his spill in heat number 8. So he comes out off gate number 1. Tero Arnio comes out off gate number 2. He had that paid win in his first ride, and then he's had 2 last since then. So he'll be wanting to get back amongst the points in this one. Gate number 3, that sees Nico Covatti. He's coming out for his 7th ride of the night, is Nico. He ran a last in his previous ride in heat 10, and he'll be wanting to go out with much better than that in this one. He's off gate 3, and Ty Proctor comes out off gate 4 as heat 12 gets underway, and it's the rider in red, Charles Wright, who's made some good starts so far tonight, and he's leading here in race 12. Covatti has joined him at the front. In third spot is Ty Proctor, with Tero Arnio at the back. So Kings Lynn, well, they scored a 5-1 in heat number 11, but they're on the wrong end of a 5-1 here in heat 12, and Somerset, they could move back into an 8-point advantage as Charles Wright leads the way. This be he's looking at set fair for his 3rd win of the meeting. Of course, he had that fall in heat number 8, pulled out of his next ride in heat number 9, but it looks like he's going to return to winning ways here in heat number 12. He leads the way, and Covatti, well, he's going to finish. What's he going to finish on? That paid 15 points as to be for his 7 rides. So a terrific performance by one of the Somerset reserves. A terrific performance by one of the former Somerset riders, Charles Wright. That's 3 wins this evening. Covatti second, Proctor in third, Arnio retired in that one, and it does mean that Somerset move back into an 8-point lead, and 3 races remaining to try and build a double-digit lead if they can. That's what they will be looking for. as Charles Wright, he probably not looking for it, but he will be getting the applause of the crowd after an excellent win there in heat number 12. So you can hear the cheers for him as well, as he's absolutely delighted with that, as are the fans with him, and receiving the applause now down the back straight. I wonder if we'll see him in heat number 15. Well, we've got a couple of races to go before that one. Heat 13, next one up. Robert Lambert comes out of gate number 1. Won his last ride, having just scored a point from his first 2 races. Jason Doyle is off gate number 2, a win in 2 seconds for Doyle. So far, gate number 3 sees Niels Kristian Iversen. He's won his last 2 rides, having opened up with a 3rd. He comes out off gate number 3, and off gate number 4 it is Chris Harris, who's he's only had 2 rides, hasn't he? He scored paid 4 from those. He missed his second outing under the 2-minute time allowance. Heat number 13. Some crucial races about to take place as the race gets underway. Jason Doyle tried to nibble a bit there at the start, and he's been caught out. It is Lambert that leads the way from Iversen in second place. Iversen coming around the outside. He's looking for a hat-trick of victories here. He's out in front in second place. It is Chris Harris in third spot. It is Robert Lambert. Jason Doyle is at the back. It's very tight indeed out in front. It is Iversen that still leads the way from Harris in second place. In third spot it is Robert Lambert. Jason Doyle making a charge around the outside of Lambert at the same time that Chris Harris is making a charge around the outside of Iversen. It's all going on in heat number 13, and now here comes Harris around the outside of Niels, and Jason Doyle has come around the outside of Robert Lambert. Lambert tries to fight back on the inside, beaten by Doyle in heat number 1, and he could be losing to him again here in heat 13. The Rebels, well, they've turned this race around. It was a heat advantage for Kings Lynn, but it's going to end up as one for Somerset as Chris Harris produces his heroics for the Rebels guesting here tonight. So I'm sure it's going to make up somewhat for dumping them out of the playoff semi-final at Poole a couple of weeks ago. But some terrific racing in that one, and it does result in a 4-2 for the home side and Somerset. Well, they now lead by 10 points with 2 races remaining. They've got that double-digit lead that Garry May was asking for. Heat number 14, next one up, and we have got Jake Allen coming out of gate number 1. Thomas Jorgensen comes out of gate number 2. Richard Lawson, he's had a quiet night as Richard, just paid 3 so far from his 3 rides. Hasn't featured greatly in this cup final, will he? In his what will probably be his final race. He's off gate number 3, and Simon Lambert, he comes out of gate number 4. He's had that win and a last and then a paid second for Simon. He comes out for his final ride off gate number 4. So 10 points the lead. Can Kings Lynn cut the deficit down going into heat number 15? As start marshal just asking the riders to come up to the line, but well, none of them seem to be in much of a hurry, do they? Well, it looks like Jake Allen now, who's coming out for his 6th ride of the night. He comes up first, the others are joining him, just waiting now for Simon Lambert to get up to the line, and then we're ready to go, which we are just about. The start marshal satisfied, he walks away. Ronnie Allen puts on the green light, and the tapes have gone up, but Jorgensen, well, he was a bit too keen there, wasn't he? He anticipated the start, and well, that's going to be a warning for the Kings in number 4, and we'll be going again with all 4. So second attempt then at this one, heat number 14, the penultimate race. Jorgensen must stay still at the start, otherwise he'd be disqualified. Well, he made a textbook start there. He leads the way off gate number 2. He's out in front from Jake Allen in second place. Richard Lawson coming round the outside of Jake into that second place. It is in fact, here comes Lawson now on the inside. I was going to say it's a 3-all, but now it's a 4-2 for Somerset. It could be a 5-1 because Jake Allen He's pressurising Thomas Jorgensen, who made the start, but Richard Lawson got up a big burst of speed to move through into first place. Here comes Allen on the inside of the Dane. It's close between those two. More thrilling action here at the Oaktree Arena. The fans here, they truly are very, very blessed indeed to have such a brilliant race circuit. And so are we to bring you all this action, which we have done for many years. As out in front it is Richard Lawson that leads away from Thomas Jorgensen. Is he going to hold on for that second place at last? Burst from Allen, but not able to quite find a way past. But Richard Lawson, well, he did find a way past the Dane, catching him out there at the end of the opening lap. Allen tried hard but just couldn't quite find a way past Thomas. But it is a 4-2 for the home side. And they now move into a 48-36 point lead. Just one more race to go tonight before 15 heats at the Adrian Flux Arena tomorrow. A healthy 14 point lead as well, or 12 point lead, sorry, as well. And the riders are out for heat number 15. Garry May, well, he's chosen Jason Doyle and the returning Charles Wright. Dale Allitt, he's gone for Robert Lambert and Niels Kristian Iversen. No surprise for that pairing, as the riders were just taking their time, and well, we might have time just to give you the rest of tonight's point scorers before they get to, they do battle here in heat number 15 as Iversen comes up to the line. Well, Richard Lawson, he finished with 5 and 1 from his 4 rides. Chris Harris scored 6 and 1 from his 3 completed rides, of course, and that time exclusion. Jake Allen 8 and 1 from his 6 rides, and Nico Covatti paid 15 from his 7. Great performance by the 2 reserves. For Kings Lynn, Eric Riss finished with 6 and 1. Ty Proctor 4 and 1, all third places. Thomas Jorgensen 7 from his 4, including 1 win. Tero Arno 2 and 1. They all came in his first ride. Didn't score in his other 3. And Simon Lambert, well, he won his first ride, of course, that heat number 2, and well, he scored 4 and 1 from his 4 outings. So that's the other riders' completed scores, and we'll be able to bring you these from these riders after this heat number 15, if it ever takes place, of course. So what sort of lead will Somerset be taking it? They are going to be taking one, obviously. 12 points in front at the moment. Can they possibly eke out another heat advantage? But it's going to be difficult against Lambert and Iversen, although Doyle and Harris did it in heat 13, of course, as heat number 15 gets underway. And well, big problems there for Robert Lambert because he did not get off the start line at all. It is Jason Doyle who leads the way. Here comes Wright around the outside of Iversen. He looks like he's got the speed to move ahead of the Dane. He has indeed. It is Jason Doyle then who leads the way from Charles Wright in second, who's been magnificent here tonight as a guest. In third spot it is Niels Kristian Iversen, who has won 2 of his 4 races tonight, but I don't think he's going to win his 5th one. He's in third place, and Robert Lambert is at the back for the 3rd time this evening. A poor performance by the Kings Lynn skipper. He's worst of the season, I would imagine. But out in front it is Doyle that leads the way. It's going to be another double-figure return for the Somerset captain. Here comes Iversen on the inside of Wright, and he has got through in the 2nd place. But Wright, well, he loves riding out wide here at the Oaktree Arena, as we've known for many years. He gets back into 2nd place. It is Jason Doyle who wins it. Then 2nd place goes to Charles Wright, as we take another look at the replay, and Robert Lambert was called out at the start line and had to pull back, and then it was Wrighty that came around the outside of Niels to get through in the 2nd place. Iversen, well, he did find a way back past him momentarily, but Charles came back through into 2nd place to set up the 5-1 for the Somerset Cases Rebels. 53 points to 36, the final winning margin then, as the fireworks light up the sky. As they do that, we'll just give you the rest of tonight's scorers. Jason Doyle finished with 11. Charles Wright, a magnificent, paid 12 from his 5 rides, with Robert Lambert just 4 points for him, and Niels Kristian Iversen, we finish as top scorer for Kings Lynn with 10 points. But a 53-37 victory for the home side. I bet the fans, well, they would be delighted with that. There is the final score. Parade up next. And well, it's Garry May who's coming round with Charles Wright as well. Well, that's great to see. I think they've buried the hatchet, so they should.
Ladies and gents, delighted to be joined on the centre green by, once again, Somerset team manager Garry May. Well, we spoke when the lead was 10 points. You must be absolutely delighted now.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, that's a good score. We're trying our best to hold on to it.
Obviously, everyone played their part tonight. Obviously, with Richard and Bomber winning their last races as well, you must be over the moon.
Yeah, you know, you said to Richard, you know, you've got to win this one. This is very important. And then Bomber as well. I said to him, get on the outside, you know, where everyone else is, and that's where he went. You know, it's brilliant. And of course, what about Charles Wright? He's the best, isn't he?
I don't think that was ever in doubt, was it?
Nah, you know, so I used him as a guest tonight, you know, and he's fantastic. He did a fantastic job for me. And I'll tell you, fans, I will do my utmost best to bring him here next year. Okay?
I think they quite like that. Obviously, you wanted big points from the reserve tonight, and you absolutely got that.
Yeah, all the boys very well. You know, Nico did well when we in certain races when we needed him to do it. But you know, it's all watch the gates tonight. You know, and that's what happened.
There seemed to be a lot of gardening going on tonight. Was that practical, or was it just determining everyone making sure that they get exactly what they needed at the start?
Yeah, well, we couldn't really rip the starts tonight because with the weather, it was a bit too wet, and the tractor going on the track would have ruined it. So we decided just to go with what it's there, and I think, you know, tonight it's been racing, been brilliant.
Going to say a mention for the track staff. We've had horrible weather. It's been downpours all week. We've seen some incredible racing tonight, haven't we?
Oh, fantastic! You know what I mean? You know, the outside line's good. Like Debbie said, we had a bit of trouble with the travel track, but we, you know, hopefully we sorted it out. And then we got the winter and sorted it out as well. But you know, we go to the AGM and see what me and Debbie come back with. But you know, I'll do my best to bring Charles Wright back. Okay? I promise you that. I promise you.
You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Garry, mate, thank you very much indeed.
All right, mate. Thanks.
And the victory parade now of the winning team. So a 16-point lead to defend at the Adrian Flux Arena. Will it be enough? Time will tell, of course. And well, let's go down. I think we're now going to have a few words with the guest for Somerset, Charles Wright.
Okay, so delighted to be joined by Charles Wright. Welcome back. That couldn't have gone a lot better, could it?
Yeah, after a crash, it was good to get back on and come back with 2 wins, and obviously do it for Somerset as well. So it was couldn't ask for a better night.
Talk us through the crash from where I was. You seem to be a little bit of a passenger in that.
Yeah, we moved out and left me no room, and it's racing. And to be honest, I would have done the same thing. And just sucked me in. It hurt me. I'll feel it in the morning, but I'm happy with tonight. So.
What have you done to yourself?
Just knocked my shoulder, but I should be alright in a couple of days. So it's my last meeting anyway, so got plenty of time to rest.
Last night, obviously, before you came here, could you have dreamt that it would have gone any better?
Yeah, obviously I wanted to do well, but no, I don't think it could have gone any better, to be honest. That's twice I've come here, and obviously with the pairs, done myself proud. So yeah, and it's good to do it for the fans who were being loyal.
Try to do everything in power to get you back here for next year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we'll just have a talk and obviously see what's what in the winter. But yeah, we'll definitely come back. Interacting with all the fans, so yeah.
Well, you get back to these guys. I think they want to give you a big cheer. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Wright.
Well, good to hear from Charles then. That wraps up from the OTA. Goodbye from Rerun Productions.